Hi guys, it's Kiarko here, back with another speed build. This is a speed build that was requested by Robin Abbott, I believe. This is a version of Cinderella's house that I came up with. And this is kind of it's an interesting version of Cinderella's house. It's not really based on anything very specific. It's kind of inspired by the interpretation that the new Disney live action movie took with it. By new, I don't mean like new. It came out a while ago. But Disney recently made a live action version of Cinderella where her house was like this beautiful, like French chateau looking place. And honestly, like I didn't see the movie, so everything I'm describing is completely from like Pinterest photos. But from my impression of that set that they built, it looked very like, I don't know, it was like in a beautiful garden and it looked very like elegant and really nice, and that's just kind of like the vibe that I was feeling for Cinderella's house. I figured that this is the childhood house that she grew up with, that after her mother died and her father remarried to her stepmother, her stepmother took over the house and kind of just made it her own and cast Cinderella away into like the back kitchen area, which you will see. So this is Cinderella's house that she grew up in. It's not like just the stepmother's house. That's why it's so beautiful, and there's a lovely garden. It's just like really nice. It's kind of French looking, I guess, a little bit. I don't know if Cinderella's a French story. I don't know very much about that particular fairy tale. It's just like not one that I really know about that much. So, you know, maybe this is totally wrong for the architectural style and time period, but I think it works. I think it looks pretty cool, and I'm really happy with how the exterior of this build turns out. I think it looks so, I don't know, it looks like it could be a movie. I feel like it could be an interpretation of Cinderella's house in a film adaptation. But let me know what you guys think. Let me know if this is a direction you like for this particular fairy tale. And yeah, so right now I'm just setting up the exterior of this build. As you can see, this video is going to be split into two parts actually. So the first part, which you're watching now, is just the exterior of this build, and then the second part will be the interior of the build. And the reason that I did this is because it's just a massive build. Like, this is a pretty big house, like kind of really big, and it took me a long time to figure out basically what the exterior of this build was gonna look like. I spent a lot of time just scrolling and I cut out all that scrolling so you guys don't have to see all that. But this video was probably originally like, I don't know, like half an hour long, and it's way cut down now so that you guys don't have to watch me just scrolling and making, you know, the same decisions over and over again as I was trying to figure out, you know, what I was doing. So this is the exterior, and then the interior of this build will be released tomorrow. Yeah, because I didn't want you guys to sit down and watch like a super like 30-40 minute long video, unless that's something that you guys would want. Let me know, actually. Let me know if you prefer long videos or if you prefer for me to split them up. I'm just curious to see what you guys feel about that. But here I'm just choosing my windows. It took me forever to choose what windows I want. Like, I was like really scrolling for a while trying to figure out like the vibe of the windows, because it would really like define the architectural period of this place, and I just didn't know like which windows were right. So I started with these windows here, which are like these little crosshatch style windows, which I thought these fit perfectly, and they're only used here in this little hallway area. But it started to give me a sense of what era and what style this was in. So then I went with, let's see, not those windows. See, I'm going back to choosing windows. It took me so long. And then I went with these windows, which have like little, what are they called? Ooh, what are they called when you close the outside of it? You know what? I don't remember what it's called. Window covers? You know what? It's on the tip of my tongue. I cannot remember. But I went with those windows with the little black metal crosshatch in the middle. I thought that, again, had a very interesting style. And then I used those windows from Strangerville, as you can see, on different parts of the house. I thought that this style was, it worked because it looked old and fancy, but like not too, you know, decrepit and not too worn down. I don't know. I just liked how it felt. And then here I am choosing a door. Again, it took me a while to choose my doors. This build just, in general, took me a long time to figure out what it would look like, because I wanted to do it justice, you know, like I really wanted it to look good and to look like it could be really like Cinderella's house. And I don't know, I just wanted to make sure that everything looked, you know, good. But here I'm choosing windows for this little like sunroom area, which on the interior, which you'll see tomorrow, ends up being like this really cool like indoor like garden bathroom space. It looks so cool. You'll see it. But here I'm just putting in this door on the side. This is not the main door, obviously. It's just a side door, and that will be where Cinderella enters from the side into her like little kitchen scullery room place. Because I figure like she'd definitely be like shunted off to the side of the house by her stepmother. In this interpretation of, or in my interpretation of this story here, I interpreted the stepmother as being very, very cruel, but also very, like, fancy, very elegant. Again, kind of like the Kate Blanchett, oh my god, I just butchered her name, the Cate Blanchett version of the evil stepmother in the live action movie that I was talking about before. She's just so elegant and wicked and just so, like, cool. Like, it's such a better interpretation of that character than the original movies, where she was like this, you know, I don't know how to explain it, just like this very strict, tight, like kind of woman. She became very elegant and more like evilly elegant. I don't know. That's just like my little spiel about the stepmother, but I imagine her as also being very elegant and evil and cunning and smart and all that stuff in this universe that I was building here. So I kind of imagine that she'd be particularly cruel to Cinderella. You'll see later on the interior in the video that I released tomorrow. She's got some stuff in her house. She's definitely not a nice lady. But you'll see as we go along. But here I'm just setting up the entrance of the house. I knew I wanted like these big stone walls around it, almost like a compound where Cinderella was almost like kept hostage. I imagine that it was very rare for her to leave her house because she had to like stay there and clean all the time, and she didn't really have anywhere to go. So that when she actually does like sneak out to go to the ball, it's like a really big deal. It's like a huge deal for her to like leave this compound place. As you can see, like the walls are like these really tall stone walls. So it's like escaping a prison pretty much. But here I'm just adjusting the walls, just making sure all my corner pieces fit and just looks nice. And then I'm just gonna go in and start doing little detail work in the the interior of the, not the interior of the lot, but like inside the walls of the compound. And then back here we're just gonna set up a little garden, but we'll do that later. Now I'm just scrolling through the debug menu. Believe me, I was doing this for like 20 minutes, just scrolling through the debug menu. It's definitely cut down here because I don't want you guys to watch me scroll and scroll and scroll. But that's what I was doing. And then I'm just picking out my trees. I went with these like tall ones because I thought they looked very fancy and elegant. Doesn't this build look so good? Like, I love the texture of the roof with the texture of the walls. Like, I think it looks so French and storytale-like, and I just think it looks really good. I don't know. I'm tooting my own horn here, but I'm proud of it. But yeah, here I'm just putting in a little more details. I thought about separating off this area with like a garden wall, but I ended up not going for it because I wasn't really feeling it. But here I'm just putting let's see, what am I doing? I'm just trying to figure out, what I'm doing. That's what I'm doing, is figuring out what I'm doing, basically. As you can see, I'm experimenting with a lot of different ideas. I ended up putting these little, like, fountain head things on the front here. And then I put this tree to the side, just kind of give it more, surrounding environment and just a little bit more privacy on this side of the lot. And then I'm gonna put in a grave here. This is the grave of Cinderella's mother. I imagine that she was buried in their front yard, I guess. And I imagine that it's a grave that Cinderella visits daily and just kind of puts a flower on there for her mother. I do end up putting a flower on the actual grave to show that Cinderella was putting flowers there, but I'll do that later. Putting little roofy cover things. Oh, not roofies. Oh my god, no. Roof cover things over the windows, just to, make them, cute and match the roofs, and I think it looks good. And then we're gonna put in more little, trees, bushes, things like that. I find it so hard to talk about exteriors. I can talk about interiors a lot better for some reason. I don't know. I feel like that's just my vocab is a lot more geared towards talking about interiors. Talking about exteriors is so hard for me because I'm like, wow, look at all these plants that I'm putting down. look at this green stuff that I'm putting on the walls here. That's ivy, I think. I'm just putting up against this one part of the house just to add some color to the exterior, and I thought that it added, you know, another kind of like French style looking thing. Or I shouldn't say French, it's not particularly French. This looks just like generally European, I would say. Put some, you can see I put little like toadstools, like little, what are they called? Mushrooms in the garden here. I thought that was a really cute little touch. And then I'm just gonna put flowers around here just to make the outside garden look very luscious and beautiful. And yeah. And then I'm just gonna put in, let's see, some, little flower baskets outside all the windows, which I thought looked very cute. Added some green all around the building. Wow, this looks so good. I'm so proud of this because like I didn't really have a plan like when I was doing this. I was just like, you know, I'm just gonna go for it. I was like, this is gonna be a massive build, which I usually dread, but I was like, you know what? Like, it was a great suggestion. I wanna do it. Let's just like dive headfirst into it. And I'm so proud. Like, this was like totally off the cuff improv, and I just like really vibed with it, you know? It's wonderful. I don't know, I'm really happy with it, I guess. And then I just stuck a broom in there to remind myself that Cinderella needs a broom. And then I'm just gonna pop in a flower on the grave here. I chose that flower because I thought it looked pretty. And then I'm just gonna put a clothesline here, which morbidly implies that Cinderella does the laundry of the house like right next to her mother's grave, you know, which is kind of dark, but you know, I guess it's, maybe it's like a comforting thing for her. Like she likes, talking to her mom while she does the laundry, or like it's a way for her to like be around her mom or something like that. Or maybe it's like a form of torture from her stepmother, who knows? I don't know. And then I thought about putting a horse here to like signify that maybe like the prince was here to like do the glass slipper shit, but I scrapped the horse stuff because like I didn't have any glass slipper CC, and I just didn't want to put like a random horse in the middle of the courtyard, so I scrapped that. But now I'm moving on to doing the back of the garden. This is just like a small little garden farm thing where I figured that Cinderella grows food for the household. Clearly she just grows lettuce apparently, but you know, maybe that's like their area of expertise. Maybe they're lettuce farmers or something like that, I don't know. Putting in more trees, apparently not. Okay, never mind. I do put a tree there later, I'm pretty sure. But here there's the tree I put in there. And then I'm just going to put in, let's see, another tree over here. A lot of green on the exterior of this lot. I think it's so beautiful, like, wow. I'm really working on my exterior building skills, and I feel like I've improved a lot, and I'm just really proud of myself for that. But putting in more trees in the back, and then I believe that we're almost done with the build. Let's see, what else are we doing here? Adjusting the roof a little bit. Putting in, I put in a chimney up here. I was trying to figure out where to put it. I wasn't too sure. I ended up putting it on the side of that blue building you'll see in a second. I put it right there, and then I make it very big, and there it is. Yeah, thought that looked really cute. And then I spun around the building a couple times, and that's the build. Or at least that's the exterior of the build. The interior of the build will be released tomorrow. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this. Please tune in to watch the second part tomorrow. It's a lot of fun on the inside. And yeah, thank you to Robin for the suggestion. This was a lot of fun to do, and I'm really happy with how it turned out. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.